Alright, so over 3 months ago, I made this animation. Now while I do have my excuses, there is a lot wrong with it. So today's challenge is to remake this animation. Okay, two things right off the bat that I want to change is mainly the pose, but also like the consistency of line work, because holy, oh my, look at how thick it gets, and then just suddenly like back to normal, or I guess slightly more normal, because like none of this looks normal. Also, by the way, I despise these two frames with like every fiber of my being. They look so messy and like inconsistent. Then I guess this part isn't too bad. I just reckon it could do with more frames, especially in the build up of the blast here. Okay, so the pose, I'm thinking a little something like, maybe something like this. The goal is to have him like in this pose here, and he's like really meant to be like swinging it up like this way, and then that's when it comes up here. He's kind of like dragging it. More like dragging these nuts here like this. This just looks like a really disabled spider, right? I feel like the only reason you would know this is a Stickman is if I told you. And that's kind of not a good thing, especially not when we're talking Stickman animations. Okay, so I drew a little bit of a shape here to help with like positioning and all that, because otherwise I'm going to end up like accidentally drawing him on like a side angle or something. Like, but I kind of want to keep this angle that he's got here, so in order to do that I wanted to like have it also line up. Look, I don't know if any of what I'm saying makes sense, but I'm just hoping it helps. That actually worked out like a lot better than I thought. So I want to keep this part the same, because it's actually like the only part of the animation that I like. That is easily 10 times better. This is almost exactly what I was going for when I was making that Procreate animation. I don't know why it was so hard to get my idea across. It might have something to do with the fact that it takes an act of Congress to like do anything there. But yeah, I don't know. Anyways, so now we move on to here. Like this thing with the blast and all the purple, like this was meant to be lightning, but somewhere along the way I like messed it up so bad, so it ended up not being lightning. I think I'm going to keep it like this though. Again, probably one of the only parts of the animation that I actually like. Okay, so the mountain's gonna be pretty much the same. I'm just gonna change like a few of like the inside shapes here. By the way, if I sound sick at all, it's because, well, I am. So just kind of bear with me for a minute. Not too sure if this looks like a mountain, but I'm going with it. Now for the smoke, I'm thinking something with a little more detail. Because I mean, this works, but it's kind of garbage. Now yes, it looks like a sunflower, but the goal is to have like, when it's in motion, it's gonna look like all the dust is getting like, sucked into one point, right? I don't know, hopefully I can make that work. Okay, so that didn't work. Alright, there we go. The next and final step here is basically like wind effects and like your lightning and all that extra boring stuff. So I'm just gonna get that done and I'll see you next time.